Hello and welcome to the Philippines. I took a recent trip to Bohol, Tagbilaran City, from Pier 1 in Cebu City, and got on one of the fast ferries, about a 2-hour trip, a little less than that. This is Pier 1 here. The taxi from Mandaue City to Pier 1 was, I think, 180 pesos. Paid him 200 pesos, or about $4 US. And if you don't have a ticket, you're not allowed inside the terminal. So if you're waiting for somebody, you have to wait outside that area. I protested a little bit about how much luggage we were bringing with us. I like to travel light, and still I like to bring a lot of stuff with me, so that becomes a bit of a challenge. There's a 10 peso, or about 20-cent charge when you come in the gate, if you come in with a taxi. And then there's a terminal fee inside of 25 pesos a piece, about 50 cents US per person. There's another wharfage fee there. I'm not sure what that is. We didn't have to pay it. I don't know if that's if you're shipping stuff as freight or what. But security, a couple levels of security there. Not nearly as secure as your average airport around the world, but they do have metal detectors and, like I said, a couple levels of security. They're looking for certain things that will tip people off. They've got a male side and a female side for some reason. Maybe in case they decide to take you in the back room and strip search you. I'm not quite sure. But did not have to take shoes off, belts. And there's the luggage out the other end. This is a relatively new terminal, I think a few years old. I purchased our tickets at a travel agent in Ayala Mall. Many malls have travel agencies, virtually all of them, I think, even in the smaller cities. And you can find travel agents out in stores, out on the streets as well. Generally, I recommend you use a travel agent. Get your ticket a day or a few days early. Kind of guarantees you a seat on the place, and probably a better seat assignment as well. I've made 3 trips now to Bohol and back, and each time it's been 500 pesos, about $10 US. And it's always the list price is higher, but they always say they're running a promotion, so there's a discount. I have showed up at a pier, and I've had to wait for the next boat because they were sold out on the boat going out over. So that's another reason why I suggest you buy tickets if possible. Now, some shipping firms don't take reservations ahead of time. You just have to show up and wait. Similar to airlines, possibly, baggage counter if you're shipping and or picking up baggage somebody else shipped. They also have a check-in counter, the different ones. This is Oceanjet, which we're going over on. So we checked in. I believe we got our seat assignment at that time. And there's the big waiting area there, quite large, but it also can get quite busy, especially on weekends and even more so on holidays. Everybody travels to their province. Our 500 peso tickets were for the air-conditioned section, and I believe the open air section way up top up there, I believe that was about 400 pesos or $8 versus $10. And generally I pay for the air conditioned, and then I like to move up top unless it's really, really hot with no breeze, and because I can do a lot better video up there. This time when I went up, most of the seats up there were taken, although most of the, well, I think over half the seats down in the air-conditioned section were still open. So it was more comfortable down there, and wasn't that much going on outside, so we just stayed down there. But here's a look at the seating in the air-conditioned section. Each ferry company and ferry boat has different types of seating and arrangements. We were in tourist section. There is a business class that I believe gives you a little more room between the seats, and costs another 100 to 300 pesos per person. Not that much really if you're larger and want that space. When you arrive, it looks like here in Tagbilaran City, it looks like they're building a new terminal, big building off to the right there. And it could be a warehouse or something, but I'll show you what you're greeted by at many of these ports now. Not all of them, but there's usually they've geared up. They started to get used to tourists, and there are people to greet you and sell you tours. Oh, tours.
Do you drive the hotel, sir? Which hotel are you going, sir?
We're going to, where are we going?
Darunday.
Tour. No, we're going to a hotel now. I chose a hotel close to the downtown area for a number of reasons, but anyway, most of these guys, taxis and vans, didn't want a short trip like that, so we went over to the tricycle area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tricycles coming. A lot of these tricycle drivers know when the ferries are scheduled to come in, so you'll see a bunch of them come, and we jumped in one of these. The agreed upon price was 50 pesos, and or about $1 US. Fair enough price, and there is a fair amount of parking here. If you have a car, rental car, or if you have your own personal private vehicle, shops and that type of thing outside the terminal. A lot of these vans are tourist vans. A lot of groups of people will rent those, or you're one person, two person. You can rent a van for the day with a driver. And these guys are always trying to sell you their services. And you might want to rent one of these guys, take you around to the different places. We ended up renting a motorbike at the hotel that we stayed in. A lot of these hotels have connections with motorbike rental places, and the first day we paid 500 pesos for a day, 24 hours. We decided to rent it for quite a few more days, I think 6 more days, and we negotiated 400 pesos a day, which is fair, and I think is pretty standard around different parts of the Philippines. You can get them cheaper, but these guys had like over 30 motorbikes, so they took care of them, maintained them better. And the big question I always have for these guys is, what if it breaks down? Of course, if I damage the vehicle, I'm going to have to pay for that damage if I wreck it and dump it. But if I get someplace and it won't start, if it's a mechanical issue because of maintenance or whatever, I don't want to be held responsible for that. And their policy is that if it's engine related, basically, they will bring you another vehicle. You call them, they will bring you another vehicle, exchange it. So you're set to go. And I will pay an extra 100 or 200 pesos a day for that guarantee. Other Asians from Korea, China, and Japan in particular, and then other Asian countries as well, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, are the biggest groups of people that to visit Bohol and Panglao Island and other parts of the Philippines. Westerners come in, I think, number 4 of those groups, and therefore it's not real surprising that there aren't more restaurants with Western style food. You can go out, we went out to Alona Beach the first night, drove out there with our rented motorbike, and I had some quite good lasagna, and my friend had some Filipino food, I think, primarily. But you can, I think probably some of the newer hotels that they're building are built probably serve more types of Western food. They do have 5 Jollibees. I saw a sign. They got 5 Jollibees in town. So, if you aren't happy with that, there's a McDonald's across the street. Not sure how many McDonald's they have. Several small malls. The biggest mall is out on the edge of town. Can't remember the name. Island Mall or something like that. and that's where the market is, the wet market, as well as the bus terminal out there. So if you're traveling by bus, they will drop you off out on the outskirts of town, and you can take a tricycle in. If I remember last time I did that, I took a ferry to the upper part of Bohol, Hitafi, visited an American up there. I took a bus down to that bus terminal just on the outskirts of Tagbilaran City. Cost me 30 pesos for a tricycle down into this part of town, the main part of town down here. You will see a few taxis down here, but not very many. A few jeepneys. Tricycles seem to rule the road down here. Lots and lots of jeepneys. A little different style than what I see in Cebu City and different areas. One nice thing, they've got the clear glass in the front for the driver and the passengers, so you can see where you're going. Many of the tricycles in Cebu City, if there's any glass there at all, it's so dirty and scratched up that you can't see out there. Several hospitals in town, number of hospitals, medical centers. Not sure if they can handle the more serious type issues or not. I heard a couple of years ago that an expat here had appendicitis, I think. It is appendix rupture, I believe, and they couldn't deal with it here. Late in the night or early morning, they sent him over by ferry with a nurse to go to a hospital over in Cebu City. So although I like Tagbilaran City, I like what I've seen of Bohol. Major medical issues could become bigger issues because you are at the very least a couple of hours by ferry. Now they do have a new airport open on Panglao Island that is operational now. Not sure how many flights come in there, how often they come in there. There's an old church very close to where we're staying. But that's something to consider too. You can fly into Panglao Island. And from our place out to the Olona, which is on the far side of Panglao Island, is about 22 kilometers, I believe. So not that far. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like the video. Please share the video. Please subscribe. And I'll have more videos coming throughout the week. We're going to stay over here about a week, I believe. Travel up the coast a ways. And safe travels to you all, wherever you're at. There's our hotel. Personally, I prefer sea travel. I know something about it. And I'm up wandering around. They ended up, I was out back here doing filming. They eventually, fairly quickly came back here and asked me if I was done. And asked me to please return to my seat, which makes sense. Somebody could fall over, jump over, and they wouldn't know.